If you are very sensitive or very easily offended, I do not care. Okay, I am here to speak my truth. Now, recently YouTube got rid of the dislike button, and I feel like that's made me a little more audacious, a little more bold in the topics that I'm willing to talk about on my channel. Now, with that being said, in this video, I want to talk about some of the problems that I've noticed with modern women. Now, I feel like when I make these videos, it's very important for me to clarify from the beginning that I am not talking about all women. Just like in the past when I've made videos talking about how modern men are down bad, I know that that video did not apply to all men. Just like this video doesn't apply to all women. Now, if you for some reason are offended by this video, then maybe you need to look in the mirror because the video is probably about you. Now, I also want to say this, okay? I know a lot of other creators, especially in the manosphere, have made videos with similar titles, probably talking about similar topics, but I want to talk more about my unique experiences with women and what I've noticed with all of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And why most women seem to struggle in modern society, or more so just aren't happy, are not happy or at peace with themselves. And like I said, I've already made videos talking about men. We are equal on this channel. I don't discriminate women, men, black, white, atheist, religious. I don't care. I do not care. I'm here to speak my truth. Now, the first thing that I've noticed with modern women, and we're getting right into this, man. The first thing that I've noticed with modern women is that they don't understand their nature. Now, I know I've probably already lost some people with that, especially if you've been following my channel for a while. That probably sounds strange coming out of my mouth, but over time, what I've learned is that female nature isn't about women just wanting to be with rich men. Now, what do I mean by female nature? By female nature, I'm referring to what attracts a woman to a man, okay? And there's also male nature. Now, female nature typically is attraction driven by emotion. Okay, women tend to be attracted by emotion before they are attracted by physical attributes, or at least simultaneously. And for the most part, the majority of their attraction level is determined by their emotional attraction to a man or to whoever they're attracted to. Whereas men, most of their attraction is physical, but then over time, they begin to develop that emotional attraction. Now, I'm not saying that one is better than the other, okay? Everything works the way that it does for a reason. But what I've noticed is that social media and dating apps have messed up the balance of nature. And what do I mean by that? Okay, when you're swiping through Tinder, okay, for example, if you're a girl and you're swiping through Tinder, okay, it's distorting your view of attraction to be physical as opposed to emotional. And I think that that's a major problem because now you have men being objectified. And I'm not saying that women aren't being objectified. I'm not saying that being objectified is right on either end. But what I am saying is that it is not natural for a woman to lead with physical attraction. Okay, for the most part, it is not natural for a woman to lead with physical attraction. Like I said, physical attraction is an important attribute, male or female. But women are emotionally driven creatures, and that is for a reason. It is because they are typically meant to be caretakers. Doesn't mean that you can't have a career, doesn't mean that you can't be an entrepreneur, get your bag, whatever. Okay, and I'm gonna get to that in a second, don't worry, but women are naturally gifted with the ability to be caretakers. It's just what it is, it's just the way that nature is. Okay, and there's a divine balancing to everything. Dating apps and social media are throwing that balance off because now you have women who are driven by the more superficial things, the more superficial attributes in men because they have no choice. If a man DMs a girl on Instagram, he's not going to be able to make her feel something based on that initial interaction. If a man were to approach a woman walking down the street, he has a much higher chance of being able to make her feel a certain way, which is what women inherently will respond to. Okay, if they default to their nature, that is what they respond to, is the emotional attraction. But like I said, dating apps and social media do not give men the chance to do that. There are exceptions to these rules. I've seen people find fulfilling relationships on these dating apps, on social media. I got my first relationship from social media. But with that being said, it's still not natural, right? It's not natural for women to be driven solely by attraction. That's more of a men thing. That's more of a male attribute. This is why a lot of modern relationships do not work, is because they're founded on a fundamental incompatibility, a fundamental distortion of nature and of masculinity and femininity. And like I said, these two things are balancing factors. One is not better than the other. They need each other. It's a yin yang. Okay, you can't have men without women and you can't have women without men. But what happens when men aren't men and women aren't women? Okay, now, like I said, that doesn't mean that women should not go out and make money. But if you want to find a long-lasting, fulfilling relationship, you have to understand your nature. Okay, you have to understand your nature and you have to be willing to surrender to your nature while still not compromising the essence of who you are. Now, speaking of being a strong, independent woman and getting to your bag and everything like that, the next problem with a lot of modern women, and this is going to be very controversial. I mean, this whole video is controversial, but OnlyFans. OnlyFans. Okay, now, it's not so much OnlyFans itself that's the problem. That right there is a very controversial statement in its own right. But me personally, I don't see anything wrong with OnlyFans. You know, if that's what you do and you're out here making your bag, you're getting 6 figures, $1 million a month, then hey, you do you. But you have to understand what comes with that. Okay, you can't be out here selling your body and then get mad when people objectify you. You're objectifying yourself. You're literally selling your own body. You have to really think about that, okay? And this is a problem amongst men and women in this day and age, is that people want it both ways. But like I said, I've already talked about men in other videos. This video is about women. Okay, you can't have it both ways. You can't be this strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man until it's convenient for you. Okay, you have to make up your mind about what role you want to play in the context of a relationship. And by doing something like OnlyFans, you are defining that role before you even get into the relationship, right? Because men are going to perceive you a certain way. It's that simple. Okay, now like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are aware of that and you understand what comes with doing that, then you do you. You go get your bag. I'm not mad at you. But what I will say is you can't have it both ways. You can't be out here selling your body or posting feet pics or whatever the hell you're doing on OnlyFans and then expecting a man to love you just for who you are while overlooking all of the things that you do. Okay, it just doesn't work like that. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to bash women in this video. Okay, I love women. Anybody who knows me in real life knows that I love women. Women tend to be my weakness a lot of the time, but at the same time, I'm holding you accountable. Because if you want to find a man, if you want to find true love, because true love does exist, it'll never die. Love is timeless. Love is infinite. Okay, true love will always be there. But you have to love yourself enough to understand who you are and what you are capable of bringing to the table in the context of a relationship. Because let's say, for example, if you want a man to provide for you, then you need to be willing to submit to that man. You can't be a strong, independent woman and expect a man to provide for you. It doesn't work like that. You can't have it both ways.